Right, hello everybody, and good evening. Sorry, we're just starting a minute or two later than scheduled. We're just setting up a few things in here in the background, and of course, as you know, I've got a little one who is asleep at the moment, but he does tend to wake up, and he causes all sorts of trouble. And I say causes lots of trouble. He just calls out for me, and he. He's only little, isn't he? He's nearly 18 months old, so he keeps the joy of my life at the moment. He keeps me on my toes, keeps me busy, and all the rest of it. Right, so I'm just going to get on and bang through this as quick as I possibly can. I say quick as I possibly can, of course. I want to make it relevant and make sure that you guys get value out of it. Maybe some of you didn't make it to Farke's press conference. Perhaps you don't know what the news is, but it's big news. We'll talk about that in a moment or two. Of course, we'll just run the intro, and then, of course, we'll just get started. And with tonight's lineup, I've put a little description in the description. So if you want to know what we're going to discuss, by all means, go in there, have a little read while this is running, and that's tonight's agenda.
Watch along Leeds, shorts, live, and watch along with me, Leeds United, because we all love Leeds.
Of course, yeah, I'm going to try and do something with that intro eventually and make a new one. But of course, if you're new to the channel, hello and welcome. I'm Gary. This is Watch Along Leeds. We work here, or I say we work. It's just a bunch of enthusiasts, really. I think Leeds United enthusiasts. So we try to come up with new ideas, keep it fresh, have a bit of a podcast, and watch-alongs, and we have a whole community with the disabled team, so make sure you go and check out the disabled team as well. Later on, there is a handle in the description, I believe, so if it is there, let me know, chat. If it isn't there, let me know as well. You can always put it in the chat. Just prefix the channel name with the @ symbol, and it should also automatically come up. If not, let me know any problems. And I'd like to start this evening's stream with a little message of thank you. Of course, thank you. Without the channel, without you, the channel is nothing, is it? So this week, I'm absolutely thrilled just to say, some of you have seen it on the community tab anyway. I regularly post things on there. Just thank you so much for continuing to support me, support Stuart and our channels, and the associated channels that are in with the disabled team. Of course, without you guys, it would be pointless for us to do anything. We do it because we love it. We're interested in it, and of course, without you, the viewers, it wouldn't be worth our time doing it. And it's great from my point of view. It connects me with people who I would never have had the chance to connect with. To speak to about a common subject. I'm rather alone and isolated where I am. Not many people here talk about Leeds United. It's usually the big 6 Premier League clubs that they all know about, and everything else is completely irrelevant. So this is kind of a hobby to me. I do it when I have the time, and I try and, of course, make as much time as possible on a weekend to do watch-alongs, and of course connect with you guys in chat and speak to you, and make connections, and generally discuss things Leeds United, and you never know where those conversations might lead. So of course, it was a massive milestone this week, passing 30,000 views on the channel. I mean, I just can't believe it. Do we work hard, and do we try hard to produce good content? Yes, of course we do. I'm constantly coming up with new ways and new ideas, and trying to think of things that are going to keep people entertained, keep people engaged, and things that people will hopefully find of interest. And you might have noticed on the community tab, every other day I try to post a little trivia quiz message or something like that. Been testing that out this week, and that seems to be quite popular. Chat, let me know if you want me to do any more of those quizzes and trivias. Just something that you might like seeing popping up on your recommended feed on your home pages, and of course I'd be delighted to try and put the time in and develop that further, and make that part of your something that you look forward to every day. It's quite difficult for me to produce videos and stuff every day, so I find that's a great way to connect with the community, and I hope you enjoy that too. Hello, Danny. I'll just run by chat before we get on to point number 2. Danny's got 2-2 Saturday. He's got Desmond, I think, and I think. Well, I'll get into predictions and stuff a bit later, Danny, but it's a good prediction. Every prediction's a good prediction, isn't it? Good afternoon, and Disabled Team Stu's here as well, so thank you very much, Stu. Hello, Michael. Good afternoon to you as well. Good evening, of course, if you're in Asia, US, if you're in the morning at the moment, and everybody else in Europe. Good afternoon to you, and in the UK. So yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, Stuart. Daniel Farke is right. Every preceding game will be more difficult than the last. You can't really dispute very much with him, can you? He tells it how it is, how he sees it, and he's generally, I think, quite an honest guy. I certainly think he's endearing himself to the fans really well now, and every single time you see him home and away, he always goes around and sees the crowd, certainly after the matches are finished, and I think he's very charismatic, isn't he? He's charismatic, he's direct, he's to the point. Obviously, there are things that he's not willing to talk about in the press conferences, and he did avert those. We'll come into those later on, of course. There's a chink of light at Leeds with Ipswich drawing their last 2 matches, puts Leeds within 8 points of them instead of 12. Had Ipswich won both of those matches, I've thought this for a while, that the 2 above, there are no such things as easy games in this division, but I think we're in a moment where we're coming up to Christmas. There's a lot of fixtures coming our way. Same for them as well, and they've not really experienced a dip in form. They got off to a very bright start. They had a lot more time to prepare their teams than Farke did. We were in total disarray after that Premier League season, and it's taken us a little bit longer than the other teams to get a team sorted out. And the signings Farke's made, they're paying off. And unfortunately, I have to give credit where credit's due. And I didn't realise this, but Somerville's had some kind of connection with Rutter in the past before joining Leeds, and they've known each other from the previous days. And I think that I might be right in saying something to do with Hoffenheim. I mean, I can't remember quite what the story was about that, but Somerville coming out and mentioning this week that he's helping Jorginho settle in, and they're getting on really well, and that relationship on the pitch and off the pitch is developing great for us. Nonto as well. It's him and Somerville seem to always have a bit of a celebration. It's happened on a few occasions now where one of them scores. Usually it's Somerville, because we haven't seen much yet of Nonto, I don't think. So yeah, I mean, from that point of view, we can reel them in. And here's the bold prediction. Note the date, folks. 9th of November. We can win this league, and I think we'll win it. And I think we've got a long way to go. Leicester and Ipswich still have to play each other twice. We've got to throw Southampton in the mix. If we could keep our side fit, and that's part of what we're going to talk about in a moment or two. We've got as good a chance as anybody of winning this league. Cheers, Danny. Thanks, mate. Just be yourself, Gary. Yeah, I think that's it. I've got all those questions right so far. Keep them coming. I'm glad you enjoy them, Danny. It's like this. If I get a bit of a bit of time at lunchtime, what I try and do is I do a bit of research and then have a look back and then try and produce a little on this day quiz. You'll see them in the community tab. If you've not been in there, go in there and have a look. YouTube are reorganising the community tab to make it easier for users to navigate to, and they're going to try and make it a little bit more prominent, I think, on people's home pages. So, keep your eye out for that chat. Of course, if you need anything, thank you, Michael, as well. Loved him mentioning the burger cellar at Elland Road being a fortress. Yeah, I mean, we're improving, aren't we? At home, I think we're undefeated. Are we undefeated at home? We'll have a look at that in a minute or two. All teams are a month ahead of us. Yeah, we've said that before. I saw Ipswich players at the end of the Rotherham match, and they had their hands on their knees at the final whistle, as if 3 matches in a tough week for them, and it had taken it. 3 matches in a week is a tough toll for anybody. I think it's and this is why there's been a lot of concern about Archie Gray. And everybody else who's playing 3 matches a week, it's a tall order. You throw training in on that, then our lads seem to have done quite a lot of media work this week. So have they had a bit of a break from training and a bit of bonding and all that sort of stuff, a bit of media work? Who knows? The only thing that worries me are injuries and suspensions. Barring that, we will win this division. Bandy, that's what I like to hear, Bandy. It's a bit of positivity. 31 matches now to play and over 90 points to play for. Yeah, I mean, it's massive, isn't it? It's definitely winnable. And, we're relying on Leicester dropping a few points. I think Ipswich are going to drop a few points. We've got to play them, and it sounds like, little drum roll, I might be at Elland Road for the Ipswich game. So there we go. So look out for some impromptu live streams if I manage to get those. When you mentioned burger cellar, I thought, McKenny. Enough of the burgers. I've had a burger earlier today. Avinda, good afternoon. Good afternoon. So that's it. The thank you bits out of the way. Let's bang on to the next session, the press conference, and it's bad news, isn't it? Pascal is out, and it's I couldn't quite catch what he said. Is it a double hernia or a single hernia? And if not, I was just watching Just Joe with Danny and a few others in the chat there, and if what he says is correct, we might not see Pascal now until the new year, which is a big loss for us. So the alarm bells are ringing. Everybody's speculating, what is he going to do? Cooper's a natural choice, isn't he? But there's a bit of doubt about Cooper. Is he going to be fast enough? Is he fit enough to cope at this level? And I like Liam Cooper, but I just think he when he does play, he has struggled. He has struggled. He's been caught out. Teams like to play in and behind him, try and get him turned. And if that happens, Plymouth are going to feel a bit of confidence, I think, coming into this match, knowing that one of our main centre-backs is out, one of our star performers this season. But we can always say that we've got Roden. Creswell is a doubt. Apparently there's some personal issues going on that he's been given time off to sort out. He's not trained this week at all, by the sounds of it, and that says to me that he's unlikely to feature for us at all in any capacity during this match or for this fixture. So it'll be interesting. Farke sounded to me like he won't even make it on the subs bench. The personal problems or the personal matters that's going on, he didn't allude to what exactly those are, and rightly so. The player's privacy's got to be respected, and I hope that he whatever it is, it works out okay for him, and he comes back and is in a fit frame of mind to try and get on, because he can definitely help us, and we're going to have to call on him at some point, I think. And let's just keep our fingers crossed there are no more injuries. Big international break coming up, as you know. And of course, we don't want anybody getting injured while they're away on that international break, because we've got a few lads in the Welsh side, haven't we? Nonto's probably going to end up going to Italy. We've got a couple of other people, the Dutch lads as well. So it's a big exposure for Leeds. It's a big exposure. This next 2 weeks is going to be critical for us if we can get through it with wherever they are doing whatever they are, or whoever they're playing, and there's no injuries, then that's a good thing. But if there's an injury to Roden, for example, let's all touch wood, pray to the gods that Roden is all right. He can come back after this international break, and he's absolutely fine. So yeah, that's a bad one. Geldhart, apparently his hand fracture hasn't needed much operation. Something like that. When it's a fracture, it's usually, what that indicates is it's usually like a split in the bone, not an actual full-on breakage. And quite often with fractures, there's not much they can do about it. It's just a case of allowing the body to heal itself. As somebody who's had a fractured rib in the past, with a quite bizarre, honestly, it was the most bizarre thing that's ever happened to me. We were on a bus, Manchester Airport, actually going to this park and ride. We just got to the park and ride, and picked up the suitcase, and then bus sort of jolted or moved forward a little bit, and I had the suitcase above my head, like 30 kilos, and I literally just sort of went like, just the underside of my rib here just like literally touched onto the bar, and the next thing I knew, I was in a bit of discomfort, and I thought, oh, it's something and nothing. I've probably just overworked a muscle or something like that, and the pain just got worse and worse over the next 3 days. I was like, I'm going to have to go to hospital. I was literally out of breath, couldn't walk. Doing anything was excruciatingly painful. I was like, this is horrendous, is this? Went to the doctor, he just went, boom, just lift your shirt up, and it touches onto the lower set of ribs, then to one above, and then to one above that, and I'm not kidding, I nearly jumped through the bloody ceiling when it touched the affected rib, and he's like, oh, you've probably got a fracture on your rib, and he goes on, blah, 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 blah. He said, people injure their ribs in the most freakish ways possible. He said people could even get a fractured rib even just swimming. A dodgy movement with their arms, or just bumping onto the side of the swimming pool. He said we see all sorts of weird fractures and stuff like that. So let's hope Joe is all right. Jed Spence, of course, we know that he's somewhere near to coming back. Dallas. Now, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but the rumour is that Dallas is going to go, or he's been invited to go training with the Northern Ireland side. And I think Farke has pretty much said, no, he's not going to do that. He's going to stay in Leeds, and, he could go watch the games, maybe he could go attend the training sessions, but we don't really want him to do any training. Because of the recovery process that he's had to endure. So yeah, let's see where we are. This is why I need Stewie, you see, because he knows where to chat. Double hernia for Strauch. That's going to be beyond Christmas. I think beyond into the new year is that before we see him coming back. Let's hope that he makes a fast recovery, because he's been outstanding for us, I think, this season so far. At the back, him and Roden have formed a very good partnership, and let's hope that he's all right. Bamford, he's got some sort of infection. Apparently, he's not feeling himself. Is that just a case of the weather, or what? We don't know, do we? He didn't really go too much into it. He's got a cold by the look. It looks like Captain Coops is at centre back. Damn it! That's the one that I think he's gonna. this is what everybody's predicted. He's going to put Cooper at centre back, but I've got an inkling feeling he's going to do something. He's going to shuffle the pack, and he won't put Cooper in. I think he's going to set something up at the back where we probably go with maybe a 3-5-2, and swap the formation about a bit. Roden, Byram, probably Shacks at the back as well, and then he packs out that midfield. And I mean, I think that's the obvious. Or that's another outlet for him, isn't it? That he completely changes the style of, not the style of play, but the opening formation. And I've got a sneaky feeling he won't start Cooper, because I think he probably knows Cooper's going to struggle over a 90-minute period. And it might be a little bit too much for him. I mean, either that or he starts Cooper, and then if things aren't working out, Cooper might come off. Daft as it sounds, everybody thinks, it's the end of the road, panic strikes out, and all the rest of it. And we've seen it before from Farke. He's come up with all sorts of little surprises and strange ways of starting and stuff that we're like, hang on a minute, what we're doing that? And he's a bit unpredictable in that respect, I think, Farke. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on Saturday. I can't wait. Of course, every time there's a match on, I'm just like, oh, thank God for that. It's the weekend. It's another week closer to getting home and enjoying some good old British ale and food and all the rest of it. And I can't wait. There are things that can be said that I can't say so at the minute, so I'm just going to watch that. But we could talk about that later on. Roden, what's happened to Creswell? He had a decent season on loan at Millwall last season in the Championship, and was in the England under-21 squad that won the Euros in the summer. It's like Farke doesn't rate him. Farke doesn't rate him, and the managers prior to Farke haven't rated him enough, in my opinion. I think they're probably just thinking that he's a little bit inexperienced. I rate him, and I think you've got to give the guy some minutes and see how he gets on in a competitive situation. He's played for us in the past. I like that he's got a good touch. He's decent in the air. He's got a bit of vision about him as Creswell as well. He can certainly pick a pass. We're putting this business of, he's too young. We're putting a 17-year-old, 18-year-old Archie Gray out there. So that age argument for me just is a non-starter. There must be something that Farke's not 100% sure about. Is it strength? And perhaps it is his strength, or physicality. There's obviously something that Farke said, because he talked a little bit about trust during that press conference. And does he trust him or not? I don't know. Difficult one. I agree, Michael. Though I think you've got to see more of him, and it's the same with quite a few players. Rutte was getting it in the neck last season, and for one thing and another, and we were all, oh Christ, this is a bad investment and bad player and all the rest of it. And suddenly now Farke's getting the most out of him. So. He's proving to be a top performer for us, and I think that's just a case of Creswell, that we need to get him involved, get him in the minutes, and let's see more of him. From what I've seen of him in the past, not decent player, but is it just a case of Farke's a little bit worried about his inexperience? Maybe it's match fitness as well, match sharpness, but you're not going to get that match sharpness, match fitness if you're not getting any minutes, are you? So, but he is. But the worst thing is he's having these minutes in the England setup, isn't he? So, strange, very strange. Moving on, Roden will likely stay with us for the season. So I think the club are going to move to try and make sure that Rodon doesn't leave us in January. Let's hope that that's not the case, of course. I rate Joe Rodon. I think he's been an outstanding performer for us this season so far. Firpo, bit of a complicated answer there. He said that he's had no competitive games for 6 months and will likely. I've written here he is an option for Farke, that he could well start in some capacity for us on Saturday. So it's going to be an interesting one. What he's going to do with that back four lineup. About the opponent, he said that they are quality and they are cheeky. I mean, they're 19th in the table, this lot, at the moment. I've just been having a look at the stats, and obviously the standout result this season for them was when they beat Norwich 6-2. So perhaps he's a little bit wary about what they're going to do. You know, for a lot of teams visiting Elland Road, it is going to be the one of the highlights of their seasons. Definitely for Plymouth, you know, it's a long way up for them guys and girls and the travelling fans. I hope, you know, give them credit if they fill their fan allocation, because I mean that's a mammoth round trip. Is that? We've got to be on it. He said that we've got to watch out. They're a cheeky team. We have to be respectful, and we always will try to approach the game. And I think that's the thing that we've mentioned in the past, isn't it? We can't go into these any games now. We can't be complacent because it's so tight, is this championship, that, you know, the 3 points we got against Leicester, they're in the bank, and now we have to get the next, and we just have to keep banging on like that. Yeah, great achievement, terrific result for us going away and putting a stop to Leicester. And we had it was an outstanding match for us, wasn't it? And we completely nullified them. You know, we just made them look second rate, to be honest with you, all over Park. And I mean, I remember doing watch along. I'm like, I can't believe we've done it. We've done it. You know, we've got a result there. So brilliant. And it just shows two top teams. We've beaten the top two. We've got a big chance of winning this championship. And right now, there's nobody else anywhere near Farke who you'd want managing this side. Many players thought about leaving at the end of last season. Young players need to be aware and not overthink. But he wouldn't have blamed them for leaving at the time. But he's come in as Farke and he's steadied the ship. In my opinion, he's got them all rallied around. He's got rid of the ones that he doesn't think that are going to be able to play a part for us this season. Wilfred, I mentioned Wilfred Nonto. No comment, more or less. He said no comment about the rumours and speculation that's been going around today. The window's closed for now. We're happy to have him here. And, you know, he mentioned his attitude, and I think that's probably an area that Farke's working on. He has got a bit of a reputation as a bit of a crybaby, I think, at times. The window is closed, so that's it. And I mean, in my opinion, I think we just try and keep him until end of season, and you know, try and get value out of him. Get value. That's the thing. If we can get value out of him, we picked him up for next to nothing, and you know, we get value out of him, and then let's assess the situation come nearer the end of the season. If he knows that we're staying in the Premier League, he's probably, you know, he might want to stay. Perhaps he wants to move on, but he's under a longer term contract. I said at the time, the summer just gone, you know, he should have. Stu and I talked at length about Wilfred Nonto, and we both concluded that Nonto should be thinking about sacking his agent if he's not happy about the position that he's in now. And that's that really. Let's see here. Spirit Score must be aware and doesn't want it to be. Yeah, he said that Wilfred Nonto's attitude and the attitude of all the players has to be that they're focused. They know what the goal is, and that they're at it every game, because the spirit in the squad must be maintained, because it can easily be broken by discontent. I mean, we've seen this going on at Manchester United, haven't we, with a couple of players. Uh, then he mentioned about Jed Spence, many consecutive illnesses. Uh, Cooper, we have options. He said that Liam Cooper, we have options, and it's important. But in my opinion, he'll likely play. Will Liam Cooper, but I mean that's not going to affect the how the other team, how the opponent lines up against us. There's no doubt in my mind they're going to just put out the best starting 11. 6 weeks before you could do any heavy work, yeah, it's mad, isn't it? I mean, God, it must be. It's a sore problem. Is that concerned with Cooper playing in defence? Has he been exploited? Yeah. I mean, we've picked up on it. I think that Southampton game, he came on, didn't he? And he got beat on the blind side, and I just hope so. Could put Ampadu centre back, Gruev in the defensive midfield. That's always an option. That's always an option. I think he'll probably play to pack the midfield. Is he likely to play Ayling, chat? I mean, I don't think so. You can only get experience, but yeah, absolutely, Stu. And disabled team, of course. Plymouth are a team that blow hot and cold. They were unlucky to lose 3-2 away at Ipswich, despite taking the lead and drawing 3-3 at Middlesbrough. We're going to come on to that in a few minutes, Michael, because I haven't watched any sort of Plymouth match. My time is just soaked up at the minute. It's as you know, this little tinker who keeps running around. The last thing Leeds don't want to play is rocking the boat at this crucial period. I couldn't agree more. I mean, I think he's brought the side together. He's got them all singing from the same hymn sheet, if you like. We're going to have a little look now at Leeds and Plymouth. What can we expect during this game? And of course, we've got any other business segment. If you want to come on and maybe you've got something you want to say, share, or anything like that, I'll put the invitation out there just in a minute or two. We'll do that now, shall we, chat? If anybody wants to come on and say hello, or if you've got something that I've missed that you think is relevant, perhaps you've got a question or something like that, and of course, we'll try and put that out there. But for now, let's get on and share this. What am I talking about? We're doing the little bit. What can we expect from our opponent this Saturday, Plymouth Argyle? 33 minutes, man. I can't believe it. It's madness, isn't it? Time flies when you're having fun, and boy, oh boy, do I have fun doing these. This one's a slightly different one to what we've done in the past. Usually we compare the Leeds United or the opponent's performance with the actual league. All right, so we try and average it out against the league, and of course I'll try and zoom that in nicely for you, chat, so you can see it. In case you can't see it, do let me know in chat, and of course I'll try and work on solutions to sort that out. Leeds are in green, Plymouth are in the blue, and don't worry, chat. It's just because I'm looking at the Plymouth stats as the main one. Goals were almost equal on goals. Shots, Leeds are way ahead in shots. So Plymouth, we can say, are very efficient in front of goal. Field tilt, that's the speed at or the ground that we make up when we pick up possession from the opponent, and we are way ahead there. I'll just highlight that, 58.29 versus them. They're just 50% almost. Possession, we are much greater in possession, and I think this is what we're probably going to see from Plymouth. They're going to try and soak things up from us, perhaps play a low block, try and hit us on a counter, and I think that's what we're going to expect to see from a lot of sides this time. When they're visiting Elland Road, they're not going to try and go toe-to-toe with us. They're going to try and sit deep, shut the door, and pick us off. And I think that's probably the best way for them, that They've got attacking options going up front. They've got a couple of lads there with a bit of pace, so we'll talk about them as in a moment or two. Shots conceded. I mean, they've conceded far fewer shots than we have. Goals. And shots conceded, of course, they've conceded far fewer than us. Do they like to play a long ball? Oh, yes, they do. So we need to be watching out for that. That they're not going to try and smash it up front over the top from a turnover in possession in their final third. It's going to be another interesting game. We'll try and get the match preview up as well. I'll try and get that now as it happens. Yeah, there we go. So we've got that downloaded. Last time out, 3-3, Middlesbrough lost against Ipswich. Michael just mentioned that. 3-0 Sheffield Wednesday. They beat Sheffield Wednesday 3-0. I mean, Leeds, we couldn't even beat them at home, could we? 0-0 West Bromwich Albion. Although the 19th in division, any sort of complacency against any of these teams, and we can find ourselves quickly slipping down the league. It's so tight. West Brom 0-0. Lost to Swansea 3-1 at home. Lost to Millwall 2-0 at home. And drew with Hull. And then that's their signature result in that 6-2 thumping of Norwich City. 4-1 there, that's Bristol City. Lost against Bristol City. So they're up and down, aren't they? They're not consistent, and that's their problem. We're a little bit more consistent than they are. At the moment, according to this, 19th in the league position. I'll just have a little look at the squad and see what information we've got there. So Whittaker is 28. We won't go through them all. Lewis Gibson, Dan Scar, Jordan Houghton. Like I say, I couldn't tell you much about them. I've not seen enough of them to make any conclusive judgment. But they're all pro footballers, and some of them don't even have a picture, do they? So there's not much information there, to be honest with you. Player rankings, we'll talk about that as well. Let's just see where we are with player rankings. And, of course, we're talking about XG, so that's the expected goal threat. And we've Hardy, FW, forward with 6. Whittaker, 4.25. And so goals. So Hardy is at the top. Then is top at XG. Whittaker is at the top there, 7. And then Hardy. So non-penalty XGs. Expected goals, their expected scorer is going to be Hardy and Whittaker as well. So those are a couple of names we're going to have to be watching out for. Azaz is one of the top performers. Is a top performer for expected assists. All right, so assisting from open play. Expected threat is Mumba as well. So a lot of data there, chat. I mean, I'll quickly fly through this later on. If you want to watch it back, you can pause it. I don't want to go too much into that bit. We'll try and open up the match report as well and just see what Leeds are heavy favourites to win this. By the way, I've seen some putting it as just over 50% chance to win it. So I think we're going to be all right. I don't think we're going to have too much of a problem, but you never know, do you? We're trying to put Ellen Road. What can I say? We're trying to make Ellen Road into a fortress, right? And if we are complacent, if we're not on it, as Farke likes to say, we don't want. Oh God, here we go. What's going on here? We don't want any slip-ups. Just a second. I thought I'd lost you there, chat. I thought I'd lost you. So I'll get back into chat in a moment or two. We'll just have a little look at that thing. If you don't know if you saw that chat, but we've got What have we got? Oh, God, where is that window? It's there. That's the one I want to open. There we go. Right. Okay, so here we are. We'll just have a little look at this. In overall terms, it's not that they're not far behind us at all, and their inconsistencies of really the points that they've dropped have been far greater than us. But in terms of picking up results, they are going to be a threat. Non-penalty XG, look, Hardy, if we compare him, 5.58 versus Somerville, 4.81. Pirot, 4.78, 4.25 for Whittaker, and Rutte, 4.46 versus Mumba, 2.92. It's going to be an even. I think this is going to be quite an even contest. It's going to be a really, really tough afternoon, or it has the potential, doesn't it, for it to be a tough afternoon for us. And I think an early goal is going to, whoever gets the first goal, I think, wins this. So it's going to be important that Leeds start from the traps. We start very quickly, and we get in and about them, put them under lots of pressure, just like we did against Leicester. And I don't see any reason why we can't win it. But you never know. You never know in football. Anything could happen. So yes, thank you so much on that, chat. Let me just go. I'll just try and catch up with that, and I'll see where we are. Maybe I'm recovering these again, but if that's fine, yes, done that one. Plymouth, yes. Leeds, yep, of course. There's the link if in case anyone wants to join. I don't see any joiners at the minute. I suspect Nanto's agent is fueling the move away from Elland Road, as he has form in this matter, as he's the agent of former Roma player Zaniolo, who down tools at Roma, to force a move to Galatasaray. I mean, why would anybody in the right mind want to go from Italy to Galatasaray? You'd go anywhere else, wouldn't you? But that's me. If Nanto does that again, Farke, yeah. If Nanto tries any funny business, or this agent tries any funny business, I think they'll literally just, they'll literally expire Nanto's contract, and he'll be able to clean Dan James's boots week in, week out. He's not going to get away with that again, and I hope, and I suspect, I think I suspect that there are probably words going on in the background and negotiations as we speak about Wilfred Nanto, and they need to be getting him in and saying, look, is there any truth to this? Apparently on Instagram, Nanto has seen this and he has put a laughing emoji in there, just saying it's a joke and blah blah blah. But I think he did something similar last time, just trying to play it off and all this sort of thing. And then shortly after, things escalated quickly. So it's going to be an important week for Wilfred Nanto. Is he going to play silly buggers? And we've seen this sort of thing from other players before. Balotelli, I think, was one of them. He started playing silly buggers at Man City, didn't he, for a time? You see this sort of thing happening on the continent all the time. We don't generally see it out of players from the home nations players, I don't think. They generally try to do things a little bit more professionally, don't they? That, right, okay, I want to leave. Please put a transfer request in, and that's it. And that's how business is normally done, I think, in British football. But on the continent, things are a little bit more temperamental. I think that's the easiest way to say it. So there we go. Right, I'll get banged on through that one. And any other business, join me on stream, link in chat. If you want to come on, you've got something to say, fine. Come and air your points of opinion. I'll just keep that open for 1 minute. Incidentally, I have had a couple of conversations this week, or today actually, a couple of people wanting to join, and I think Danny might know a couple of them. So, watch this space. An invitation was kind of sent out, but it might have been a bit too late in the day for that particular person. And let me see here, chat. What is this? If Nonto doesn't play a part in this game, I'll be worried. If he does play, I think we'll be okay. Now that we know that he's not injured and there's been no mention of injury, if he doesn't show up on at least the subs bench, that to me is a red flag. It's a big telling sign that his days at Leeds are going to be numbered, and that there are, or things have been happening behind the scenes that we're not yet privy to, that we don't have the information about. And I think, when Leeds were dealing with Sinistera at the same time, it was only after we'd got rid of Sinistera did we find out that he was threatening to sue the club. I think Aronson was another one as well, playing silly buggers and all this sort of thing, not happy about going into the Championship. They obviously think that they're better than they are, not willing to put themselves in and commit themselves to the contract that they've signed with the club. And that, for me, we can't have people in and around the squad like that. If that's how it is, get rid of him. Get rid of him. Nonto was quite happy to move to the Swiss league before Leeds came in for him. Hardly a top European league. He's not going to really prove himself there. Italy have thrown the door open to him in the Championship. I think I think he has actually played for them once. I think on the second occasion he was actually injured, wasn't he? So in the second international break, this third one though, providing he gets through Saturday and this week no injuries, you fully expect him to be performing for Italy during their international fixtures. Incidentally, I heard a rumour today that Kieran Trippier, speaking of internationals, Kieran Trippier's on crutches, but his name's appeared in the England squad today, and that came out a little bit before we started our broadcast today. So I don't know what the situation is with Kieran Trippier. A little bit, maybe it was a joke or something that I've misinterpreted, but Kieran Trippier's in the England squad. So is Calvin. Calvin is he's off on his holidays around Europe, isn't he? Bless his socks. Well, look, if you've got nothing else, chat, I think I'm pretty much done with this live stream. I think there's plenty gone on there, plenty being said. It's always good to catch up with you. I hope, of course, to see some of you on Saturday. We're going to be playing Plymouth. Is it 3 o'clock kickoff? And I don't know if anybody has the information. Apparently, there are some fixtures now that are pretty much, it's Sky Sports Leeds, I think, over Christmas. It looks like we're going to feature 3 times on Sky Sports over the Christmas break. Nonto's quite happy to, I think I said that one already. If Nonto does down tools again, force a move away from Elro this time round, Farke won't forgive him for his actions. And providing Leeds get a decent fee for him, we'll find him isolated again. He's got to be made to pay and made to understand that you can't just go around doing what you well please with these kinds of things. You've signed a 5-year deal, you're in for it for 5 years, and within 6 months you're throwing your toys out the cot. You're threatening this, you're going to do that. Your agent is the one who's committed you into this contract, and it's going to cost you to get out of it. I have to pay a fee. I have to pay 3 months' salary if I want to end my contract early. I'm on an annual contract, right? So if I want to pay, and make the buggers pay, and I hope that there is some sort of release fee or release clause on there so that it is a personal burden to the agent or to Nanto, possibly both. That you are the ones who are wanting to terminate this contract, and now that's what we're going to do to you. And if they refuse, you just shove him in the boot room and send him isolated training again, and that's it. Well, you can sit here and rot for the next 3 years because we don't have to sell you to anybody, and we are in that position now. We don't need to worry too much about finances. It sounds like the finances are all good. We've got a big sports group behind us, one of the world's biggest, and Wilfred Nanto needs to be taught a lesson if this is true. I mean, I don't know if it's true or not. There's a lot of fluff comes out in the media. Some of it I wouldn't even call it media, to be quite honest with you. It's part of the reason why I set this channel up, that there's a lot of stuff out there that just gets there's just no truth to it at all. And I hope it's just not true. I really do. I want him to come and prove himself at Leeds, and I hope that he's going to take a leaf out of Somerville's book, and if they've got that connection and they are playing well together, they're getting on together off the pitch, and there's a few of them there, they're bonding well, and there's a bit of camaraderie going on. He doesn't have to worry about going anywhere else. What is he going to get? He might get a bit more money, or the agent might, but money ain't going to be everything, is it? So, well, that's my opinion on it, chat. Look, I thank you so much for joining us, and I hope to see you on Saturday. If not, that's no problem at all, and it's going to be another massive fixture for us. And of course, if you're watching this on the replay and you're new around here, of course, I always forget to show my little. And if you haven't subscribed, and you never know what could be happening on Saturday. And of course, smash that like button as well if you haven't done that yet, do that as well. And what I'll do is I'll even put a recommendation up here just for your convenience. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. All the very best. Marching on together. And I'll see you on Saturday.
Watch along Leeds. Shorts live